using Hinge prompts or dating app prompts is a way to kind of engage a girl in a conversation. My best dad joke. When does a joke turn into a dad joke? When I say it, you're so-called daddy. Okay, if you send this right away, this comes off as way too sexual and creepy to women. This is a girl saying something innocent and then you taking it sexual before she knows you and has any comfort with you. That is a guy being creepy. All right, we had a question in Players University about using Hinge prompts or dating app prompts is a way to kind of engage a girl in a conversation. And so he posted multiple of these and just asked for some feedback about where he can improve. So I'm just going to go through each of these real quick, let you guys in your own mind kind of make your own judgments, assumptions about maybe what you would do differently or whether you think it's a good one, and then I'll go through each one and break them down individually. So the first one he showed us is the girl says, "Give me travel tips for Japan." And he has a response written out of, "Don't go without your future ex-husband." Next one is, "Teach me something about anything. Learning everything is my life's goal." And then his response is, "Let me teach you how to be best wife of my life." One thing I'll never do again, drive an electric car in the mountains in the middle of nowhere. And then his reply is, "It's not going to happen if we went together. I have whole powerhouse in me." This one is my best dad joke. When does a joke turn into a dad joke? And his response is, "When I say it, your so-called daddy," in quotes. My simple pleasures. Cooking dinner in sweats with a glass of wine while dancing to my latest music obsessions. And then his response is, "Hinge is getting better. I am looking for a girlfriend and found perfect wife." And this one says, green flags I look for. Good with kids, check. Like to travel, check. Can communicate, check. Knows what they want, check. Honest, check. And his response is, did I upgrade my Hinge or what? I was looking for a girlfriend but found wife. All right, so those are his ideas. And then, like I said, I'm going to go through each one and just either give you a way to improve it or just if I would just, why I wouldn't do it or why I would do it. First one, the give me travel tips for Japan. And his response, don't go without your future ex-husband. Okay, this one's not bad. If you want to play in the you're my future ex-wife type thing, a kind of push-pull. But that can be taken to her of like she doesn't know what you're talking about. If you just reply to Japan and you say, don't go out without your future ex-husband, she could be like, what do you mean? So I would at least, if I did this, start by saying, like just replying to this prompt and say, I've got a great one. So it's like she's asking for travel tips. So you say, I've got a great one. And then if she replies to that, then you could go, don't go without your future ex-husband, and maybe just throw a little wink face in there. So now she knows that you're speaking about you and her and that future ex-husband. So I would bait her with a shorter one first. The I've got a tip for you, or I've got a good tip, or I've got a good one. And then once she plays back, now you can come in with this with the little wink face, and then it will have more context, and it also shows she's a little bit more engaged because she replied to your first kind of hook line. So that's how I would change that one up. Teach me something about anything. Learning everything is my life's goal. And you said, let me teach you how to be best wife of my life. I don't know that. I understand where you're going with this. You're kind of making her validate herself to you about you're going to teach her to be the best wife. Maybe on this one, I maybe would, if you wanted to take this approach, I would again maybe do a shorter first one, like a bait her with, she's saying, teach me something about anything, learning everything is my life's goal. And then you could go, oh, you're a learner, ... Maybe you'd start with that, oh, you're a learner, ... And then if she replies back of yep, I love to learn, then you could go with, hopefully you can learn how to be the best Hinge girlfriend ever. So I would do it a little bit more casual in that sense. Like, again, I really like to bait her first. Like, I like to reply to something like this with something shorter, then get her to come back in. And that whole time I'm mirroring her time. So I'm not replying quicker than she is on that aspect. So I'm being able to kind of buy myself an extra text of showing her that I can, give her space. So I like to bait her first, let her get her response into me, and then if it took her 2 hours, I'm going to take at least 2 hours to now come in with the next thing where it could be hopefully you can learn to be the best, Hinge girlfriend ever. And then that's kind of a little bit more playful way to do it. That would be a little change. This one, I don't know. I'll just be honest. I don't know what you're saying here. So I would just scrap this one. Drive an electric car in the mountains in the middle of nowhere. It's not going to happen if we went together. I have a whole powerhouse in me. I don't get that, and so I just would I wouldn't do that one. You don't have to force it. If you can't find something to do, there's probably something we could do with this. So drive an electric car in the mountains in the middle of nowhere. So maybe, okay, this wouldn't be my favorite thing, but in something like this, what you could do, again, I really like the just baiting women just to see where they're at and just to get a feel for the response time, is you could reply to this prompt with just UH space OH, send that to her, and then see if she comes back. And if she says something like, yeah, it was a nightmare, and then from there, you take your time to reply and just say something like, how'd it end up? And then you're letting her, vent about it or whatever, get it off her chest. It's not the greatest one because other guys haven't asked or have probably asked about the same thing. But what you are doing is you're coming in with really short messages, and then how'd it end? And because you're able to then mirror her time and take your time there, you're going to at least set yourself apart from the other guys that reply to this prompt with something like way too high and energetic, like, oh my gosh, that sounds terrible. I can't believe that happened. Where'd it happen? Tell me all about it. That would be way too high energy. So you could at least approach it that way where you're able to show her that you're cool, calm, and collected just by your short responses. So those are other ways you guys can use prompts. Again, you don't have to have a perfect witty line, but just being able to slowly bait her and then giving that is an opportunity to send short messages and taking your time. And that actually makes you stand out with women on dating apps. Hey, Adam here. If you're watching this video and you want personalized coaching, personalized help, one-on-one, you can go to www.textingprince.com/coaching, and we can set up a free 30-minute call. You and I sit down, chat about your situation, see what you're going through, and just see if we're a good fit. All right, back to the video. My best dad joke. When does a joke turn into a dad joke? When I say it, you're so-called daddy. Okay, this one would be a fun one to do in person with her. When you're bantering with her in person, when she can feel out your energy and you can have a flirty vibe. If you send this right away, this comes off as way too sexual and creepy to women. So this is a girl saying something innocent and then you taking it sexual before she knows you and has any comfort with you. That is a guy being creepy. What you want to do is you actually want to bait women by setting up things that can be taken as innocent and then you let her take it sexual. It would be much better if a girl came in and said something like this to you when you had an innocent prompt about a dad joke. So you want women to come in with that sexual energy because then they're the creepy ones rather than you being the creepy one. When does a dad joke turn into a dad joke? Okay, here's one. Here's one you could do to this. You just completely turn it into your own right here. She says, when does a dad joke turn into a dad joke? Here's how you do this one. Reply with just knock, knock, like a knock, knock joke. Knock, knock. Again, you're giving her a short message, so you're coming off cool, calm, and collected, and you're taking a longer than her to reply. So she comes back with, who's there? Because now she's got this dad joke set up perfectly for you. Then you say orange, the color orange, right? You just say orange. You just say the word orange, and then you find the little orange emoticon, and you put that. So orange with the orange emoticon. That's all you're sending. So now you're sending one word to her. Again, you're coming off as less effort, less needy, less desperate. That's going to build her attraction slowly in her mind. She comes back with, she might try to guess your joke and say, orange, you glad you didn't call me banana or whatever like that. Or she might try to guess your joke. If she tries to guess your joke, you just say, no, you're wrong. And then you make her ask, orange who. But if she just says orange who, then you say, orange, you gonna ask me out for drinks already, Manisha? So you use her name in this. Orange, you gonna ask me out for drinks already, Manisha? So now what you're doing is you're not asking her out. You're using a dad joke and you're reframing it in a way that she's gonna ask you out. And then what she'll do is laugh, and she might go, haha, okay, we should go out for drinks sometimes. And then that's an easy way to set up a date. Although it's a little bit rushed, but I've done this before and it works out with women. But more realistically, she'll kind of laugh at it and be like, hey, how are you? And she'll just ask you a different piece of conversation, because she's basically saying like, haha, yeah, we're not ready for a date yet, but that just broke the ice, and now she's ready to have a conversation with you. So that would be a way I would take this one. My simple pleasure, cooking dinner in sweats with a glass of wine, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you say Hinge is getting better. I'm looking for a girlfriend and found perfect wife. Nope and nope. This is too heavy. So you don't want to be the guy coming on looking for something serious. And now you're giving her all this extra validation. The only time I like to give the girlfriend like the perfect wife or the wifey thing is like sometimes if I would open a girl with marry me, Ravina, or something like that is my first message. The only time I would do that sometimes is to stand out, because then that girl might go, oh yeah, I don't know, we'll see. If I did that immediately, I would jump in and take it away so I'm not coming on too strong. So if I did the marry me, Ravina opener, and then she came back in, I would immediately disqualify her no matter what, so I'm not coming on too strong. I'd be like, actually, no, I think we need to break up. So the only time I do that overly wifey thing is if I'm going to come back and immediately disqualify it. This is coming on too strong. You're saying you're looking for a girlfriend. You found the perfect wife. Way too simp beta vibes. You teach me and I'll teach you. Beta mon. Gotta catch 'em all. Beta mon. Gotta catch 'em all. What you want to do here is, she says cooking dinner in sweats with a glass of wine while dancing to my latest obsessions. All you do is you reply to this and you say, really important question, ... to this prompt. And then she replies with, what's that? And then you say, what are you cooking me for dinner? Or like, what's your special meal you're going to cook me for dinner? There you go. What's your special meal you're going to cook me for dinner? So now you're giving her a chance to validate herself. You're getting her into the fairy tale mind of cooking dinner for you. You're coming off as a prize. She's doing all this work for you. That is 100 times better than this, where you're giving her validation and making her the prize. So that would be a way to do that one. And then green flags I look for: good with kids, like to travel, can communicate, knows what they want, honest. All right. Did I upgrade my Hinge? Nope. Again, you're being too validating her and like simping for her in this instance. On here, green flags I look for, I would reply to this prompt and say, you missed the most important one, ... And again, right, you're just baiting her, showing you're cool, calm, and collected, coming in with something small. She comes back and says, oh, really? What am I missing? Or what's that? And then, like for me, because I'm left-handed and most men are not left-handed, I would say left-handed checkmark. And so why would I do that? It has nothing to do with any of these other things, but now I'm standing out because now she's like, oh, so you're left-handed, huh? But again, I'm saying something like that is in, I already meet these other requirements, plus he needs to be left-handed because lefties are the best. That I'm saying all of that just by that response. So for you, you could think of something that you can stand out, or something that would just be fun or playful, like cat lover. Like if you like cats, you could say, you missed the most important one, cat lover, and you put a check mark. And then that gives her a chance to be like, oh, I love cats too, and validate herself to you, or to have a playful bantering where she's like, ew, cats are gross, dogs are way better. And now you guys have a fun little bantering conversation. So that would be the idea I would do there, is kind of like you forgot the most important, and then you're going to throw something in that you like, or like must love dolphins with a check mark. And again, that's totally random, but then she'll be like, what do you mean? It's like, I'll be like, dolphins are the best. You can't trust a guy that doesn't love dolphins. So that would be a way I could play it there. But again, I'm making her list. I'm adding to her list with a unique quality that I have. So now it's like, all these other guys don't fit your category. I fit all of these, plus I'm left-handed, or plus I love dolphins, or plus, I love cats. So that would be the way I would go. All right, I hope that helps. This was really helpful just to let you know, for you to type out your responses like this. This makes it so much easier to be able to break this down and kind of give you tips. So let me know if you have any questions about this, or any of you guys, what you're thinking about this. If you have any other ways that you would handle these different openers, let's give all these other guys as many different ways they can go about this to have more options with your dating apps and with women. Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, share the video. Definitely subscribe.